Welcome back. As a refresher, in the previous module you spent time going through the startup process of the mill, including warm-up and setting the vise. The machine is ready for the next steps, which will involve finding the work offsets and loading a tool. As a reminder, if you need to return to the home screen, click on the lobby button on the door and an overview of the controls can be found on the wall. Now that the stock has been properly placed in the vise, we need to find the center of the stock. Finding the center of the stock tells the machine its exact position. You will need to remove the dial indicator and place the edge finder in the tool slot.
What is an offset?
A measurement recorded by the CNC control that repositions machine components for different tools and parts. Offsets are used to adjust for differences in tool geometry, part size, tool wear, and any other changing variables that may affect the machining of the part. The edge finder will spin once the spindle is turned on. Then we move the mill table in the X or Y position until the edge finder no longer spins. This will tell us the positions of the stock. The edge finder has been placed. We just need to turn the spindle on to 750 RPM. On the control panel press 750 then FWD to turn the spindle on. Great! You will see the edge finder is now spinning. Our goal is to get the edge finder to be perfectly parallel. To do this we will move the mill table in the X position to the left. As the mill table moves, the edge finder will make contact with the stock and spin less. We will move the table until we think the edge finder is perfectly parallel, then push just past that. This will ensure we find the most accurate position. This is a careful process that we have decided to automate. If you were completing this process, you would do so by turning the handle jog in decreasing amounts until you found the needed position. We have adjusted the table so it is where we need it to find the left X position. Now that we have found our left position in X, we will need to make note of the number on the control screen, -7.623. Then we will go through the same process for the right side of X. We will again take note of the X position, -4.844. The two positions we have will be added and then divided by 2 to find the center point of X for the stock. According to the calculations, the center point of the stock is -6.233. To enter this coordinate into G54 you will first need to select Offset to adjust the screen view. You will click Offset a second time to go to the top of the page. Using the cursor, you will press the right arrow to go into the work view. In the G54X column, you will input the stock position we found, -6.233. Finally, you will select F1 to enter the coordinate.
What is G54?
G54 is part of the CNC code that specifies the location of the workpiece on the mill table. Finding the central point for X is only one part of homing our stock. We will now go through the same process for the Y-axis. Our top Y position is minus 3.092. We will now find the bottom Y position. Now we have our bottom Y position of minus 5.377. We will again find the average of our two positions to find the center of the stock. Adding our two positions, and dividing by 2 we get minus 4.234. We will need to enter this in the G54Y slot now. Remember, you will first need to select Offset to adjust the screen view, click Offset a second time to go to the top of the page. Use the cursor to go into Work View. Then input the coordinate into the G54Y column. Don't forget to press F1 to save the coordinate. Fantastic! We have found the center of the stock. Now we need to find our 0-point origin on the top of the stock. To begin that process, we will have to take out the edge finder and place the dial indicator back into the tool slot. We will also be using the 1, 2, 3 block to find our Z offset. Now would be a good time to place the 1, 2, 3 block on the mill table just to the right of the vise. Now that our tools are in place, we will move the mill table so the stock is below the dial indicator. We will then move the spindle down until the dial indicator reads 0. The dial indicator now reads 0. We will need to input this as the origin in the control panel. To do this, you will press Positions, use the cursor to go to the operator screen, then press Origin.
What is tool offset?
A measurement recorded by the CNC control that repositions machine components for different tools and parts. Offsets are used to adjust for differences in tool geometry, part size, tool wear, and any other changing variables that may affect the machining of the part. We now need to find the offset of Z. We do this so the mill knows how far the tools can travel in the Z-axis. To do this, we will touch off the top of the 1, 2, 3 block and input the number in our offsets. Now that the dial indicator reads 0 on the 1, 2, 3 block, we know our Z offset number, minus 2.47. We moved the spindle down, so we will input the number as a positive. We will need to enter this in the G54Z slot now. Remember, you will first need to select Offset to adjust the screen view, click Offset a second time to go to the top of the page. Use the cursor to go into Work View. Then input the coordinate into the G54Z column. Fantastic work! You have successfully set up the vise, placed the stock, and found the offsets for all the axes. This completes the work offsets portion of setup. You are now ready for the next course. Please click the door to move on.